Marvel Tokon has some new content. They shared a full visual beginner's guide on the actual official page for Marvel Tokon, and then they also showed it off on IGN. So this is actually catching a lot of traction right now. And then they also shared this on Twitter, which is, I really wanted to go over this because I do have the visual reaction and everything, and the visual reaction is just where you can watch and see the ultimate beginner's aspect. I really wanted to see this due to all the movesets and everything, what's going down. So we do have movesets from a lot of the characters. They are going to be at least primarily showing off for the most part. So we're looking at someone who's going to be universally loved, of course, like Captain America. We're going to start off with first. You can see here, first of all, the artwork's incredible, and second of all, what I can say and conclude from everything, Marvel Tokon is more of a summarization of all the Arc system games all doing fusions together. You know what I mean? At least what we've seen from the beginner's guide, because there's a lot of stuff to really unwrap and unravel in there too. What I could also say about Marvel Tokon is it's going to be completely successful in my opinion, despite it just releasing for PlayStation, or at least being known as the only PlayStation aspect, kind of like how Helldivers launched. So here's how I think it's going to be extremely successful. It's going to be right here under skills. You can see that there's a command input, and you can see that there's a quick skill input. Now, a lot of people are familiar with this that have been playing some sorts of these games. But what I really want to touch base on is that because these two right here are going to emphasize exactly what Street Fighter 6 is doing, right? Classic modern controls. This is huge. Now, I know before y'all start really coming at me in the comments and getting mad at me, it's not that I'm fully fledged for this. I know there's a comp scene and a high level scene that culturally just want classics all day, motions, etc. But there's also how is the fighting game aspect allowed to grow if they cannot really implement something that's an easy barrier of entry while also having a skill ceiling to really grasp onto, and we can really differentiate the overall gameplay from higher level players, right? And what do you mean by all that? There's a lot of weird terms in there. Well, this game, you can literally, shown in the visuals too, in the visual video, you can actually just mash. You can mash a lot thanks to quick skill input and all that. It's modern controls. You can mash, you can do things. There's a lot of stuff to do. And then you go back to the command input. There is a lot of emphasizing on the advantages and disadvantages of it, of course. But a main thing is just knowing that when you do the classic side of it, you're still overall learning the game in a long-term wise. But you have to look at it how Street Fighter 6 does it. It's amazing, right? It may be liked, it may not be liked at times when people are doing things like playing modern all the way at like master and all that stuff. But this game is going to bring a lot of casuals. So let's start on a casual standpoint. So casuals that are going to really love this game are going to be able to get in, press a few buttons, and get all these tricks down. Why? Well, why is a casual going to be able to? Well, because there's not a lot of moves. Like, look at this. This is the moves list right here. Maybe with some patches, more moves get added. Fighting games do that. That's what we're notorious for, especially in today's gaming world. But you can see right here, Shield Strike, Soaring Justice, Freedom Charge, Shield Shock. And then you get your Super, which is Living Legend. And all these like inputs are, you know, especially the quick skill. Look how easy that is. So, and it also does an auto combo for you, right? From LP, MP, and Hype B, right? There you see these right here. And it's going to be very interesting on how that works because when you get a video game, it's like Marvel Rivals, right? So Marvel's really going to be cooking with these two. So it's like Marvel Rivals. It's easy to really get into. It's easy to kind of just get in there and start going to work. But it is hard to master when you watch the comp games of Marvel Rivals, right? It's a hero shooter that is very, very tough. Same with a lot of games, even Tekken trying out their special style, or characters that are very mashy or easier to really pick up. They're still hard to really master at a higher level because although you can go to war in the lower levels with some of the easier characters in Tekken 8, it still gets very, very tough when higher level. And so that happens in a lot of fighting games. That's just culturally induced already, that whatever is easy to grasp onto does become harder later down the line. Rightfully so, right? Because you have figured out certain habits and what you do, and therefore the game gets harder. So this is a great example of that. And you can see all the moves here. You can see the right here, the Iron Man. Iron Man, the artwork is sick in here. So you can see Iron Man right here. You see the beam, Iron Flash, Iron Avenger, Smart Missiles, and then you got the Beam Max. So you got Hulk Buster over here. Like, you get a lot of ultimate skills. So what was the ultimate for Cap? It was okay, so I know of Liberty. So a lot of names you can see. Man, this artwork is so clean. You can also see Star-Lord right here, Quad Blasters, Gravity Mine, and you got your Rush, your Rocket Step, Elemental Outlaw, your Dance Off. There you go. You got a dance competition going, Star-Lord. So you could tell that the moves lists are not long at all. And as long as it has the quick skill inputs, it's going to be a very modernized fighting game. Now, I know people will not like this. Trust me, I'm loving this right now. I am so hyped for this. Why? Because it is going to bring people in, because it's going to look very overwhelming, especially when you have a 4v4. It looks overwhelming to casuals. This might be PlayStation's better selling exclusive type games, at least exclusive for now, in my opinion, because people are going to love the art, the characters, and how you can just pick it up and start going to work. Depending on how long you're in lobbies for, like, this is going to be a crazy success for that, because now you're getting your, let's check out Dr. Doom, by the way. So now you're getting your actual casuals, because in fighting games, there's your super casuals, like your elitist casuals. Then there's your, like, competitive casuals, and then you got pro level comp people that are sweatier, that are better, that are skillful. You know, I wouldn't say sweaty, I'll just say skillful, right? Sweaty is people to try to downplay, like, oh, you're just sweaty, but no, like skillful, hard earned, lots of hours in players, right? So for this game, the casual elitist people that have never played a fighting game are going to love this stuff. It's not even a long set of moves. Now, how the assists work and all that, depending on auto assist and everything like that, we're gonna have to see how that actually goes full on gameplay. A lot of people are saying it's a rivals notion, so that's also gonna be very intriguing. But when you have a move set that is not long at all, that is a dub. When you have quick skill inputs a la modern inputs, that's a huge dub. When you have lots of artwork that's incredible, where your characters look amazing, that's another dub. Those are already, and again, speaking from a casual sense, we only have a beginner's guide released right now, so it's not necessarily like, oh my god, like this game's gonna be so perfect. Like, no, it's definitely gonna have flaws, because it's already trying to gather in two audiences and mash them like this overnight. Same issue what Street Fighter 6 still has to this day, with having like the whole classic versus modern battles and their wars all day. It will always be that, but it's the only, but look at Street Fighter 6's success. It's still climbing. Bigger creators are still playing right now that have just played this game like in a Twitch rivals competition, or just all these challenges. AT&T, I saw all those cup challenges. No other fighting games are really presented in there but Street Fighter. So that is huge. So when you have a game like this is going to be another game that can really get into those competitions now, because all you have to do is pick up the control and just mash, or your hitbox, anything, just whatever you have, your fight sticks, you know, just you can get in, you can fight. That is huge for this stuff, guys. I'm telling y'all right now. Now, I'm glazing a lot. I'm saying all this stuff. Okay, well, what about we're going the opposite route now? What is a flaw about it? Well, a flaw is doing this, implementing these two. Now, Tekken 8 special style wasn't that great. Capcom really mastered it, and I feel like this is gonna master it to an extent, but it does get a little sloppy, because now you have to favor both sides, and I feel that's the only real war with fighting games now, is how do you satisfy both ends of the spectrum, where pro players are satisfied and where modern players are satisfied, or casual players are people that just don't know how to do all these motion inputs, or don't even want to do inputs at all, that just kind of want to match and have fun. You know, you go to work, you just chill, especially if you're older, you've never played these types of fighting games, you're like, oh man, like I don't really like I want to shut my brain off, I just want to play a video game. Well, at that point, you're looking into doing all these quick skills. So that you have to maybe custom lobby, custom type variations, maybe have kind of like how Call of Duty does their game, where they have, and Call of Duty is not a great game, like perfect game by any means, but I like how they have their actual CDL rules, or their world championship rules. So maybe in fighting games, they should now sit down and maybe evolve from whatever's next after this. So Tokon is doing a great start. It's just how do they maintain that fighting base where it's not great? Because Tekken 8 is an example of people kind of going the other route and not really liking that type of 50-50 mix-ups all day, special style stuff, and a lot of mashing over aggressive gameplay. And then you have Street Fighter 6, who has done it the best so far in terms of experimental, especially in these days fight. This is the only era where these fighting games have done any of this type of stuff with quick skill inputs and all that, like all collectively. Now, it's not completely new. Like, but it is more of an arcadey feel when you do this type of stuff, because now you can really fight easily, but it doesn't mean you're gonna know all your frames and know when to punish and know blocks and reversals and parries and stuff. But it still gives you the entry to like at least feel like you're competing or having fun online, right? And I think that Tekken 8 is not much well loved for that right now, but it's still an experiment they're trying to figure out. Street Fighter 6 is doing it the best overall collectively, in my opinion, hence why there is a lot more newer players that are playing on Modern and international playing Modern to this day due to like motion input. Then you also gonna have this game that can they do it, or can they help out this end of it, create a competitive notion of it? I think that could be an update maybe, because it's the question today of Street Fighter 6 not wanting, like, people are mad in like Masters and above at times where they're like, oh man, it's modern controls versus this, or modern controls should not be allowed in actual tourney events. But yeah, but there's people that are winning them. There's top players that are fully respectable and fully credible to be playing those games in Modern. So I don't hate Modern by any time. I got Street Fighter 2 on, man. Like, I don't hate Modern. I don't hate Classic. I love both. Classic, if you really want to challenge yourself and learn fighting games universally for the rest of time that you play these games. Modern is if you're late to fighting games, you just want to pick them up, kind of understand the efficiency and the accuracy and like the fluidity of a game and how it actually plays. Then you kind of take a step back and be like, all right, how do I do this manually? And what was that visual like memory of like, oh, how do I do this string in Classic now, instead of just doing it through like Modern with the assist controls? So it's a lot to really unravel. But Marvel Tokon, I think, in my opinion, is just, it's so cool, man. Just look at this. It looks cool. I love it. It's great for beginners, at least entry level. And it's going to be such a skill gap when you see it at the highest level, which is going to be cool. A game needs both these days in order to stay relevant. So fighting games really going into like, here you go, beginner. Like, you could try it out, like have fun with it. Is always a dub for me, man. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I want fighting games to continuously, I wouldn't say go quote unquote mainstream, because there is a cultural like thing that you have to respect with fighting games. But we do need more people. We don't want to be sitting in dead lobbies. You don't want games like, sadly, like Fatal Fury, where it's like the majority of their base is just competing. So hopefully we continuously get more, man. But yeah, a huge yap session today. I'm excited for it. I just saw on my other channel, I have the reaction to it where I'm just kind of watching the breakdown, and then here I wanted to look at this moves list. So yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. Are y'all excited for Marvel Tokon? Also, last but not least, also too, I wanted to say, as long as we're not comparing this game to Marvel vs. Capcom, I think standalone is going to be a success. But it's going to be hard to not compare to Marvel vs. Capcom, right? Totally different games. If you see the breakdown of it, you're like, oh yeah, this is a way different game. But all in all, I still think it's going to be very fun. IP alone, artwork, easy to pick up, hard to master. Lots of longevity, I feel, in the competitive scene and in the entry-level scene. It being exclusive might hinder some numbers, but that's just to the bare eye. It's going to be doing fairly well, in my opinion, man. Like, Marvel IP, that's actually going to be solid, and it looks fun. It's gonna be incredible, man. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all, man. Peace.